and then it was complete, strategy, or you can say complete roadmap for others. Whosoever is to
Beautiful.
come, then we to put them through this. Second is, try to learn from every small thing. Try to learn. I know that every small thing, tell you something, and and once you learn it and try to implement it and make your own rule, will have very big impression. Okay, Kovi. I mean, personally, I will recommend everyone. Forget about management, non-management, HR, or what. One has, as a human being, you should learn it.
So great morning, audience. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. And I'm saying beautiful because I recall I was a part of one of the get-togethers during one of the beautiful evenings in this amazing, beautiful city of Pune. And there I met a few HR stalwarts and I happened to speak with a few of them. And then I recall having spoken with Mr. Kishor Kenche, who is the guest for today, this beautiful Saturday morning. Thank you so much, Kishorji, for having joined. I put my hands together for your time, because I know it's not easy at all for somebody to steal some time from family time and then give it for the sake of audience. I really appreciate. I salute you. And I remember that the moment I spoke about this heart-to-heart conversation, the moment I put this proposal to Kishorji, if he can be the guest, he said, absolutely, yes. That's very interesting and awesome. Because Kishorji, I think this may come very natural to you, but I can share with you one thing that I spoke with quite a few people. And there are people who will come, they are still thinking. Having said that, since I reach out to many people, there are people, almost every weekend I've got 2 to 3 conversations, and this is lined up till the mid of May. And it's all because of people like you, who are very few. But good thing is that there are people like you who are happy sharing your life lessons and inspiring messages with the audience. Audience, I'm pretty sure you must have read this sentence somewhere. I'm talking to the audience for a while, that some wise person had said that this world is like a big, huge, beautiful book, and the people who do not travel, they just read one page of the book. I would this is something which somebody has said. I have seen it somewhere. It was a graffiti on the wall. For me, this world is a beautiful, large, amazing book, a book of a lot of inspiring stories for sure. But those people who do not meet too many people, for those people who do not have deep conversations with people, they are able to see only one page of the book. And that's the reason I started this heart-to-heart conversation series. Kishorji, is such an amazing feeling for me to have you as the guest. Before I proceed, let me share something with the audience about Kishorji, because I think many people, some people may get a feeling that, we start this conversation, it's free-flowing. So I do not talk about the guest, and then people try to keep on figuring out, So we are talking to Mr. Kishor Kenche. Mr. Kishor Kenche started his career in the year 1999, almost more than 2 decades. Of hardcore, in-depth experience while working with multinationals. I can see one common pattern. It's all international, global, reputed multinationals. Kishor just started his career in the year 1999. He started with a company called endeavour Building, which is a very reputed multinational. Then he moved on to the Coca-Cola company, which is another name. I think everybody knows about the Coca-Cola. And then Kishorji moved on to a company which is a large company. Actually, recently I was in Baramati. I happened to meet some people. And Kishorji, I'm very happy to inform you that I'm also going to have Miss Pooja Bansal. She is the CHR of the company Piaggio. She is expected to be the guest in one of the upcoming conversations. So then
we work together, me and Pooja
you must be knowing her. So then Kishorji joined this company called Piaggio Vehicles Private Limited, which is another multinational from Italy. Then Kishorji joined a company called Mubia India, if I'm correct in pronouncing. And then Kishorji moved on to a company called Crompton Grips. We all know about this company. And then currently Kishorji is the country HR manager. He is the head of HR in a company called Bremco Brake India Private Limited. And he has all along been in the field of HR. He has been holding very senior positions in the field of HR. And I'm pretty sure that we will talk a bit about employee relations as well, because somehow I recall having heard of Kishorji's name long back, almost a decade ago. as a veteran in the field of public relations and HR. So Kishorji, thank you so much for joining. It's going to be amazing, I think 1 hour of conversation. And Kishor, can you look back on your journey? Because I know that we are going to talk a bit about your journey, which has started from Latur village. You are coming from agriculture family, and then being there in some of these best multinationals. Of course, we'll talk about the journey. When you look back on the journey, which are those initial thoughts which come to your mind? And then we'll take it forward.
Okay. So thank you so much, Arunji. I mean, it is a really pleasure talking to you. And it is always, very close to my heart to, share my experiences, share my knowledge and skills, so that, I believe into sharing and, understanding. Age is not an issue. Experience is not an issue. If you kind of sharing each other's, I mean, you get to learn so many new things.
Absolutely.
So,
let me share a picture in the background, because this is one of the many pictures which I've seen where Kishorji has been sharing his ideas from various forums. So I'll keep on changing some of these pictures. Go on, sir. Please carry on. Yeah.
Thank you. So that's the one reason which I, unspontaneously said, okay, thank you so much, because I like, sharing things. Maybe it's wrong, correct. But yes, I mean, something is correct, one can take it forward. If something is wrong, we can learn out of it.
Yeah.
So about my journey, I mean, it started, way back, in, as I mentioned, you mentioned, it's 89. I came from a very remote place called Latur, which is a district place nowadays. I did my master's, my graduation from there in commerce graduation. And then I came to Pune in 90. I joined the CMB. I did my master's in 1991. Complete. And since then, I have been working in various corporates. My started first career from, it's called Chakan Vejoice Limited. It's a big group, edible oil group. And then I moved to again, it's conglomerate. Multiple groups, multiple products. Then I moved to the DMEC, Deccan Mechanical Chemical Industries Limited. Then it was again diverse group. EPC, project engineering, footwear. And then Kas Basal. So from there, I moved to a company called Coca-Cola. There I worked. It was a Pobo plant. I worked there around 4 years. Then I moved to Piaggio, and then you have told.
Wow.
So about my
one pause here, sorry, because then I have to correct myself, because I went through a LinkedIn profile. In the profile, you started your career in 1999, but I think you started your career much before that. So
91, 91. That's right. 89, I joined for MBA. Then I completed 1991. I passed out MBA. Through campus, I shortlisted for a company called Chakonali. That was a big group once upon a time. And then I started my career from 91 onwards.
Awesome. I think since 1991 till now, it's almost more than 30 years, sir. I think we are so privileged to have you here, sir. Please,
thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
I still am in learning. It's not necessarily 30 years. I have know everything, so I'm still learning. So about my childhood, as I told you, I mean, I was nobody. I'm the first generation to work upon. Right. So normally we used to have a land, agriculture land. We used to have kind of own people. So that was a different work style. My father was kind of head of house. We had 3 brothers. So my younger brother working in Indian Air Force. He has contributed a lot in my life. I'm the second, and my younger brother is looking after my orchard. So that is how started. My journey of kind of leadership started way back from my hometown, which from my father. When I said, I mean, we had the land agriculture, big land piece. So that means, I mean, we had a lot of laborers working every day, a lot of people. So little kind of management started from then. That time.
Those lessons might have been some of the most important, most impeccable lessons for life and career. It's just that many people do not get to connect the dots, but I think I am pretty sure, having known you, I think you have been connecting the dots. I think those must have been some of the most powerful lessons. Maybe we'll talk about it as we go on.
Sure. So, Great. So then I did my graduation, and then my father wanted to go higher studies, and then I came to Pune. I did my master's from Pune University. And to your surprise, I mean, I was only 3rd person in the university, rather in the class, and other were from other state. So people were from people from Delhi, people were from Kerala, people were from rest of the UP, Karnataka, and then also some people from Calcutta. And then there was around 10 people batch from Air Force. So they were all mixture. So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting because I see one thing here is that I think that was the first time when we got into a classroom which had many people from the country, and I think the journey started from that was the midpoint in your journey, because then the journey went on to a place where now you are in conference rooms where there are people across the world joining you.
Correct. Nice.
So from local
so maybe,
to international, I think it's an amazing journey, sir.
Right. So the diversification, started from my college days. Then I was here in Deccan. It's a very renowned area. That time it was called Education Institute area. So there I was staying in a hostel, and there also I could have a diverse people. People from MBA, people from graduate, people from laws. Okay, people from very kind of capital metropolitan, people from rural. So there also I had a very mixed culture.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now I can see, sir, I think over the last few minutes, the way you explained your journey, the narrative your journey, it's beautiful. And I saw this word diversity coming again and again, which is very important.
Yeah.
And but this is the same word which many people talk about, but hardly I have seen people actually following this. I have seen many senior leaders actually used to talk a lot about diversity, but all that they wanted was to surround them with people from their own village. I've seen that from a village. I know from their own colleges, universities, from their past companies, so that it becomes easy for them. I saw one thing while going through some of the your posts, which I could see on LinkedIn, and some of the things which were. You said one thing that you have been in this field of HR and IR over the last many decades, I'd say.
Yes.
You said one thing that, while talking about some of the qualities of a good HR professional, you use some of the words like a straightforward and being subservient or being aligned to the role. In a world where people actually have seen, though they may not talk about it, but they are actually aligned to people, how would you like to give some message to some of the people as how roles are so important? I fully appreciate what you said. Absolutely. Would you like to share something? Yeah.
I think thank you so much for putting up this point, because this is the crux. Okay, this is the roots where start your not only career but your as a personality whole. Absolutely. I mean, how you started is that's very, very important. Okay. Yeah. So when I talk about, a lot of time I talk about hard work. I talk about go forward. So don't worry. Okay. So whatever you there, you feel is that you are these are the principles you should always follow. Okay, your heart. That means what I have seen that in HR especially, I have seen my colleague working in HR. They have one point of time kind of playing a diplomacy. So what happens in this case, you end up doing missing some points and getting disturb your career. So maybe one point of time your boss or your colleague will feel bad at that point of time, but later on I'm sure they will feel whatever we said and that was correct at a time, that in that scenario. So always, one thing is that when you talk straightforward, you need not to remember anything. Second, you need not to really worry about it. Third is you need not to rethink about strategy, because you are very kind of straightforward. So that is what I have been working, and touch wood, so far I have kind of excelling in my my strategy. You can say there is no strategy, but whatever we do it. Yes, like initial very, very beginning of my career, one my managing director from Hartmut Zeile, who was from Germany. So he did mention, Kishor is a kind of we wanted setup guy. The same person after 2 years said no. He is the correct person. So and one point out maybe beginning, they have different feeling about start of it, but when it work along and go along with it, so they really understand how important it is. Okay.
Absolutely, so absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Actually, this is a very important topic which we're discussing, because I have also seen the evolution in my journey.
Correct.
And there was a time in my career when I wrote this book, My Peter Marisburg Moment, where it talks a lot about courage, courage for the right cause. And it says that unless, and there are everybody who has done something worthwhile in this world has actually got two common factors, minimum. The first factor is that there is some challenges that the person is facing. Now, this is the picture of Karamchand Gandhi, who has been thrown out of the first class railway train in the place called Peter Marisburg in South Africa. That's where the story takes off. On the right hand side, there is a picture of Jaipur airport, and there is a plane taking off, and this is me, who also has been made to come out of his comfort zone of first class compartment, because I got to see that there is a connection among all of us. We all to talk about comfort zone. Actually, what happened with Karamchand Gandhi was the fact that the same person who wanted to look like Britishers by wearing the clothes like them, by talking the English in the same accent, when he was thrown out, his comfort zone broke, and that was the first time when he started mulling, when he started thinking over. And I think that's the reason people say that many people think that they think, but hardly people think, and certainly they do not think about things which they actually should be thinking. So that's another thing, another interesting thing. So we are talking about power of thinking. And then the second thing which I have seen, which is a common factor among all the people, is courage. Be it Karamchand Gandhi, be it Mahatma Buddha, be it any person, Martin Luther King Jr., be it Makaran Deshpande, who is one of my mentors and friends. I think you know him. Be it Kishor Kenche, be it Kishor Kenche, sir. Be it any person you talk about. Be it Joe Biden, be it PM Modi, be it any person that you talk about, be it Dhoni, be it Kohli, because then I started seeing connection among all the lives, because the secrets of success, as they said, just a few. The degrees may vary, but the principles are going to remain the same. Courage is one of those factors, which is very important. And then I've also seen, sir, I always courage as a prism. I always call courage as a prism. And it is that once you show courage, you start seeing the world in different colors. You start seeing some people who will come and say, well done, Kishore, well done, Arun, this is the way, go on. Just a few people. You will see majority of people who will say, chalo, ab aaya oot pahad ke niche, ab dekhte hain kya hota Arun Singh ka. And then you see some people who actually will be actively dissuading you from going on the path. But then you start seeing the same light, same world, which used to look like a homogeneous world, getting into different colors. And that is the beginning of knowing life. So today I have written all these books. Only because there are 7 more. There are some of these are going to be which are going to be published only because of some of these things which I saw in life. And then you start seeing the world in a much better. So I fully agree with you. All the words which you spoke about. You spoke about being a straightforward. You spoke about being aligned to the roles, the responsibilities, the things which are going to make the company good. And of course, we all believe in teamwork, but then it's important that we remember the priorities, and these are so important for people, for every HR professional. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing some of these ideas. So let's go back to the days of Latur, because I said that we'll come back to that. Even while talking to Mr. Makaran Deshpande, I keep in touch with him. We keep on talking. And he also comes from a similar background. He comes from, of course, Vidarbha, I think that area which is close to Aurangabad.
Aurangabad, yes.
And he comes from a village, and then he also has built the kind of successful stories which people know him for. And then again, I see similar connection in your case also. You also come from Latur, a village background, and then you are in a field, and I think I see a common thread between both of you. Would you like to share something about some of the lessons which you might have got from your teachers, your parents, or something while let's go back to those village days?
This is very interesting thing. It was a complete life turning point. Otherwise we used to have especially in this rural area, Latur especially, we have a big land, parcel of land, I mean 100 acre, 90 acre. We also used to have it. So there was no need to be very frank. So now if we have now 3 brothers, then 2 uncles, so it has now 100 acres, not we are short land parcel. But if you think about that time, I mean 30 years back or so, there was no need to really travel around. So my father was ruling it for then I would have taken my elder brother, who has joined in way back in 87 in Indian Air Force. Now he retired as a sergeant, and wing commander, from Indian Air Force. He also contributed a lot. But being, in those period, I mean, my father was looking somebody to, successor to, take care of my land parcel. So that means, that was,
So you had this expectation, the burden of expectation.
Of course, that was the expectation. That is how my career started, In school, if you ask me, I mean, school used to started, in village at 8 o'clock. So morning I used to go around, the labor colony, and then get people, put them on job, and then go to school. So at 4 o'clock again, go back to, my farm, check it up, I mean, what is all going on, check it, the Decca dimension, and pay in the evening payments, daily. So that was, career started from.
So already started practicing some of these tenets of being in HR.
So that is how, I mean, I have been started little, management lesson, or you can say not really formal way, but managing people, managing, society, and that is there. From there, its leadership started, in fact. And nevertheless, I mean, about pushing me to the Pune is my brother. who was in Indian Air Force, and that time she said, no, you don't be in a farm, so you have to take your own career. So he made me to move from there to here, and of course father supported me. And it was not easy. It was not easy. When I landed from Latur to Pune, in that time, in way back in 90s, and and then I said, number of people so forget about English is next to next. So it was a very challenging job. I mean, but what I learned is, nothing is impossible. Okay, then my brother told, look, nothing is impossible. As you have done in our past. If you keep your vision, ready, it is very much possible. Then what did I do? From next day onward, I kept one Oxford Industry one hand, second hand book. So believe me, yeah. So I used to one hand, left hand side dictionary, second other hand book. So that is how I started, And believe me, on 4th semester, I was passed out in distinction.
Yeah, sir. Such a beautiful journey, sir. Passing out the distinction in 4th semester is something which is amazing. Just 4 years entire transformation. I think, though I keep on writing about transformation, but I think here we are talking to Mr. Kishor Kenche, who actually is the example of transformation. At various stages, this is just one of the transformations which you are talking about. So मुझे याद है सर, जब मैं क्लास 10 के बाद गया था एक दूसरे शहर में, because I also come from a small town in the eastern India called Sindri, which was actually industrial town. It had 3 industries. And of course, that's the reason I also grew up while knowing people from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and of course from Kolkata, because it had industry. But it was a very small place. And when I grew up, when I went to a different city, for the first time, it was really a city with lot of people and crowded places. I had tears in my eyes when I landed at the city, when I didn't know how to live and where to live, because I'm coming from a small, beautiful town and all that, living with family and all that. I recall my father had gifted me a dictionary. Oh, Bhargav dictionary. Bhargav Hindi to English. Correct. And I used to read dictionaries. And then that's the way we learned English, I recall fully. So I think in class 11, 12, when many people who had come from different cities, who had studied in English and convent schools, for them, the entire focus was on learning physics. For people like us, it was a journey. It was a double two-way path. Of course, we had to take care of 2 things. One was, of course, to learn physics, for example, in chemistry. And second was to learn that Rasayan Shastra is now chemistry. To learn that Bhautiki is now physics, and of course, beautiful journey. So I think this is the way of learning, sir. And of course, I think those days very interesting days. Very nice. So I can see, sir, I can see a very important role which your elder brother and your father have played.
Correct.
Otherwise, you would have been not that farming is not bad, not good, but I think the way the kind of value which you have added now internationally is something which would not have been possible. Interesting, sir. Would you also like to talk about some teacher or somebody, any face that you recall? Yeah. Because though we are talking about many decades ago, but I thought of this question. Yeah. So
I will talk about one teacher who was in a primary in school. So he was staying with me, and as I said, we had a big house also. So at least 2 teachers used to stay with family in my house itself. So one teacher, what I have learned is about discipline. Okay, so he was in a very primary stage up to 7th standard. Okay, and this fellow, the morning, 4 o'clock he used to get up. He used to get me up also. Okay, and then he may get me to walk. Okay, in 4 o'clock in the morning. Literally, for 2 kilometers, and then he made me to do exercise, and then what he did, post when we return back, he used to put me in his room and used to ask me, make a tea for him, because he was sometime bachelor. His family was staying at away from and he was working. He was in our village, so he was staying for 7 days in a bachelor life, and once in a while his family used to come. So he used to make me food for him. He used to make me soup. So what I mean to say, he has taught about discipline. He has taught about obeying the orders. And third, he taught me about how to be yourself independent. So the 3 things I have learned from him at the very, very beginning stage. Okay, where till 5th to till 7th standard. Beautiful. And then I moved to other higher school, and then I moved to college, and then moved to Pune. But at the beginning, I mean, what happened? Yeah.
And so these learnings, the three learnings which you spoke about, I think these are the learnings of discipline, and then how to respect people and obedience, and how to respect people and then kind of and learn from them.
Yes.
And third is how to be independent. I think these are the three learnings which are the pillars of success. I think that's it's very obvious that you have learned all these things pretty early in your life, and those must have supported you a lot. Sir, so before starting this conversation, sir, I had just gone to collect the report card of my younger daughter. There is a tertiary school very close by. So I went there. And then the teacher, then I asked the teacher a question that, tell me one thing. I see that nowadays kids, suppose my younger daughter is 5.5 years. And I asked her one thing that, I see a lot of kids spending time on screen and all that. So what do you think should be the limit? She said that not more than 1 hour. Ideally speaking, not more than 1 hour per day, including TV and all the screens put together, which is something which is almost impossible in many houses. And this reminds me of the power of some of the tenets of success which have remained the same. The way they were there 3 decades, 4 decades ago. The tenets of success are just the same. For example, discipline. So it has been more than 1,000 days till now. Since I built a transformation in my life in almost starting 2019. I took a decision to wake up early in the morning, and that was around 4:45, 5 o'clock. And of course, nowadays I have conducted more than 100 sessions of a session which I do in the morning between 5:30 to 6:30, where many corporate people join. And I know for sure that if there is one habit which built a lot of positive changes in my life, it's the habit of discipline, being early in the morning. And that's the reason I started a session where many corporate people are joining, because corporate people have got health problem, wellness problem, career problem, no learning over last 10 years. I have seen many people who have not got a single certification over last 10 years. Whereas we talk about getting a certification every month, every week, also every day also we learn from life. So we actually learn on life 24 hours every day. And then people actually are asked to just sit in silence for 2 to 3 minutes time and think about the last 24 hours and get at least one lesson. Life has been teaching many lessons. We are getting nothing. So it's all the same, sir. The world may get into the field of course, we are going to talk about digital, because I think that's one thing which is another thing which you have worked on. We'll talk about it. Chat, GPT and all that people are talking. And iPad and iPod and all that. But the tenets of success are not going to change. The way we learn is going to remain the same the way we used to learn earlier. And that's the reason, sir, I think now in today's generation, because of flooding of lot of medias and learning mechanisms, people are getting confused now where to learn from. Whereas the tools are just a few. You can learn from your teacher, from your parents, from your elder brother also. Amazing, sir. Sir, you've been in this field of HR and employee relations over the last many decades. And we also spoke about some of the qualities of HR people. Coming to employee relations, though many people talk a lot about employee relations and all that, I also feel that it's all about building trust and building credentials and building a very deeper level of connection with workmen on the shop floor. And once people start trusting, things start becoming easy. But let me take a pause here. Let's learn from you, sir. Sir, how do you think companies who are struggling with employee relations and all that, would you like to share something as what is that which is at the core of good employee relations? Yeah.
So here, I mean, yes, this is an employee and the relation. Relations are very, very important. Okay. What I have, learned about throughout my life is, being in their shoes. Okay, please understand what they exactly wanted it. Most important thing, be in their shoes. Okay, somebody is coming with his aggrieved person. Please try to understand. Okay, you are no more an HR manager. Okay, we started my career for HR officer, manager, head, everybody. But believe me, today also my cabins and doors are open for all the time. And it is open for even office boy, even for my, my peon, even for my union leader, union person, trainee, and for even MD also. Wow. So if MD also can walk, like, my peon also walks into my room. So it is as simple as this. And I have seen, one is that, I mean, it was one point of time, it is very hard. But if you try to own their, kind of confidence, if you give kind of confidence to them, believe me, I have signed at least so far, 8 long-term agreements. Wow. Believe me, last 3 agreements I have signed not more than 3 meetings.
That's a record, sir.
So all 3 agreements, 4 agreements I have signed only in 3 meetings. That's all.
Beautiful.
Believe me.
Beautiful.
So first, I mean, try to understand, what their point is. Try to understand whether you can accommodate it. It's well and good. And try to, have a gut to say no.
Wow.
And they know, sir. They are more, they are far better than us. understanding the kind of ideology behind it. Whether the person is and believe me, I mean, I have been doing last 4 agreements. I have signed in only 3 meetings. That's all.
Beautiful. Beautiful. No, absolutely. I can correlate with it because I'm pretty sure that it's I've seen many HR professionals who might have taken long time in the initial, for 1 or 2 settlements. But then I think once we build that kind of trust, respect, and the way you spoke so well, that it's all about getting into the other person's shoes, empathy or whatever you call it, then understanding what exactly they're looking for. And once we develop this empathy, I think everything becomes easy. So I think contrary to what people believe that employee relations is a very daring, it's like a war zone, battle zone, and this and that. No, come to the basics. Again, we are talking about the same old set of few factors which govern this world. The gravity, the law of gravity was as strong 400 years ago or thousands of years ago as it is today. And today also, the world where there are so many inventions, people are kind of totally distracted. IPL देखेगी, ये देखेगी, वो देखेगी, यहाँ देखे, IPL phone में देखेगी, Jio में देखेगी, Star में देखेगी, social media में देखेगी. I think people are totally distracted. That's very important. Yes. It's important for us to come back and refocus our energy. Sure. Amazing, sir. So this is amazing.
One point I would like to add, if you want. So maybe on initial stage, I mean, how we conquer the confidence is again important. It's a little. Then I'll talk about how. So when I was with Piaggio, okay, we had a big numbers, around 4,000 people, okay, and from rural area. So one point of time in paint shop, we used to supply milk. So many a time, I mean, you have a situation, in canteen, and especially, this is the where complete, the house of IR problems are rising. Canteen is the one wherein IR situation will come out of it. So yes. So what happened? No, we used to supply milk, okay, in a paint shop because there is the Factory Act also says something. So at least 3 times, initial 1 year, beginning of the year, I had to go to, shop floor at midnight at 1 o'clock because otherwise, no, milk is not, when a quantity is not good, there is a lot of water.
The lemon is there, the chili is not, the lemon is not there. Yeah.
Okay. And then I mean, the person, who is sitting and sleeping at home, why we still bother? I can, keep on telling, okay, you can add, this is a small problem, they can make it this much. So then my, habit I used to kick off because that time I used to only use 2-wheeler. So, directly rush into the plant and see, test it, drink it. And then you don't have any challenge then. Look, there is a sugar. Look, I mean, milk is good. It's hot. So when you be with them, for that you will have to do, some homework and groundwork. And that is what is I talk about. So you, at a time, you will have to be, leave upon your position, go to there and be with them. So that's the reason.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I just wanted to share with you another one anecdote which I heard from somebody called Yashwant Pandey. Mr. Yashwant Pandey has been in the field of HR in Tata Steel Limited.
Okay.
He's currently the head of HR in Kalinganagar project, which is a large Tata steel plant, which is I recall there was a time, I think I'm talking about early 2000, when I was at a location in Tata Steel where Mr. Yashwant Pandey also was placed. Okay. And I recall he leaving his home at 11 o'clock in the night, and then he used to carry one small pouch with some chili, some lemons, because somebody made a call that, so हमारा जो सब्जी है और जो सैलेड है साथ में वो नींबू नहीं है सर, ऐसे कैसे चलता, नमक नहीं है सर, मिर्ची खराब हो गया सर. And he used to take a pouch, he used to go on his 2-wheeler. In those times people used to have a Chetak and Lambretta scooter, he used to drive on motorcycle, he used to go to the site. It is 11 o'clock, it's raining and all that, and this is an area where there is some work going on at the site, and then he used to go and give them, okay, now are you happy? Then he later told me, Arun, it's not for me, it's not about giving them. It's not about giving them some chilies and some lemons and salt. It's about making them believe that I do not have any ego. I am one of you. You are one of you. That is the psychological thing which people do not get it. कोई बोले अरे ऐसा हो गया, ऐसा कर दिया, वो समझता है अपने आप को, मैं दिखा दूंगा तुम्हें. And then I've seen companies going on the path of war, big time war, and it's all because of this ego. It's only because of this ego. So it's all about human beings. It's nothing else.
It's human being.
Excellent. No, I think I would like to have another conversation with you, sir, where we can talk about some tenets
of relations. There are many examples. I can, in the beginning of the career, I have seen, and then once you have, kind of, then when you, and taken a control on situation, then you also rule also. Okay. Then I told finally, look, I have drink. I mean, the tea milk is good. If you don't want, I will stop from tomorrow onward. No problem.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
Then
being
also you
fun
have
is also
to kind of,
important.
give.
Absolutely, being
That
fun
is
is
also important.
very
Yeah.
important. Very important. Sir, let's talk. I think this is a very important topic. Probably we can have a separate 1 hour conversation where we can just sit, have some mug of coffee and tea, and we can talk about employee relations and some of the 4 or 5 lessons which other people can be benefited from. So we'll do it. Are we connected, sir? Yeah. Sorry,
Yes,
I
yes.
that's okay. So
No
what I was saying, sir, maybe we can have separate 1 hour conversation on some other weekend where we can have a mug of coffee and tea and we can talk about 5 rules of employee relations or some of these things which other people can.
Maybe.
Because I think in India,
maybe, I mean, I can share my experience.
In India, we do not have very good books on employee relations. We do not have. There are just.
I am more than happy because I have experience working in Mumbai, working with none less than Dada Samant. I have personally spoken to him and kind of convinced him.
A lovely conversation.
I worked with Narendra, okay, with another union.
Wow.
So, okay, yeah, Crompton Greaves is another, come that
I know,
big,
yeah.
This one, yeah.
I think
7,000 people, 7 union, 2 murders
unions
every year.
in one company.
Yeah.
Wow. I think, sir, in the field of employee relations, of course, initially there might be challenges, but I think it teaches us life like no other function can, isn't it, sir? Would you like to share something on that? It teaches us life, how to connect with people from different, there are politicians, there are villagers, there are local stakeholders, there are influencers, there are employees, there are employees who are like leading, and there are other employees who are just watching which side to go. And it's a very interesting field. Would you like to share something for a minute or two, and then we move on? Because
okay, you are talking about
anything on how employee relations teach us life and some of the tenets of life and success.
Okay, I'll tell you, sir. I mean, how get to know. I mean, I'll put you back, take you to the Piaggio. I used to get every day at least 2 letters recommendation for Sarpanch, so called local guys. Okay, please take this guy is very poor and please appoint him.
Correct.
Believe me, I mean, okay, and every day I mean getting 2 letters mean how many in a year you can have look on it. So there was Sun Up Soils. There are 15 people. Please, you'll have to deploy them. Okay, so then what we did, I mean, we cannot say no to them. Then very politely, we paid a proposal. Look, I mean, these are the illiterate people. We need, skilled people. If you want us to take, we will take it. But we will train them for 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I know they are the Sun Up Soils, they have their land, they have lost their land. So what we'll do, sir, we will definitely honor your, order or your request. However, sir, we would like to put them under, technical training. Wow. Then that made me to, go to the, ITI college, made a, tailor-made course, put these guys at the age of 35 years, put in the classroom. Please believe me, how, difficult it was. Created the complete classroom, created a module, how many days they will be in classroom, how many days they will be in Piaggio, and end of the day after 2 years, then we took them.
This is an amazing example of converting a challenge into opportunity. It's an opportunity. Created a full-fledged 2-year training course for people. What a hard work it must have required.
And then it was complete, strategy, or you can say complete roadmap for others. Whosoever is to come, then we used to put them through this.
Adi, sir, so many companies might be inviting you to deliver a talk and share your learning, because these are breakthrough examples which many companies might have made use of. How to keep everyone happy, how to serve the society and everyone, and still not compromising on the basic tenets of organization. It's an amazing example. So, audience, I'm pretty sure among the audience there might be some young HR professionals, employee relations professionals. Now you know what it requires to become Kishor Kenche, sir. What it requires to be a person who is known as a veteran in this field. It requires a lot of hard work, a lot of out of box. People talk about out of box thinking. There are so many books written. This is one beautiful example of out of box thinking, as how to bring the element of training, development, and of course, we are making these people employable, because these people might have joined Piaggio, but they also might have learned a lot of things so that they can earn more in different companies. So such a great way of serving the society and company, everybody together.
So it was well accepted board, as well as the local people, or you can say politician or whosoever come with the request. So because they were also kind of fully convinced, and people are getting skilled. If Piaggio, not even Piaggio, anywhere, they would have get up. So, but in any way, they are equal. Then they will not be only join as a sweeper. Then they are joining as at level. Then.
Wow.
So they have, I mean, some respect in company then, in that case.
Beautiful. Now, let me take one example. I'm talking to the audience now. Now, just imagine, audience, suppose you were in the position of Kishor Kenche, sir. And then you also get a letter every day, 2 letters come. And of course, we're talking about some very powerful people. And actually, I have been to Baramati. The people that Kishor Kenche sir spoke about, they have built the entire town beautifully. You know, they have done a lot for the society. And I'm saying this based on my personal experience. So you can't say no. You know, there is a way of, you can't simply just go and say that no. Now, having said that, had somebody come under pressure and just inducted them, and these people are son of the soil, suppose they are not used to working with machines, something, who is responsible? You know,
there are a big mess.
Big mess. Loss. It's a big mess. And then the same people who have given written letters to me, they will come and say, hey, you should have told me, you never told me that these people are going to require training. These people require training. So it's very important for people. I think that's the reason I think I spoke about courage and being straightforward and still being aligned to the role. This is a brilliant example of Kishor sir being aligned to the role, positional required. He knows what is required out of his position. He's doing what is right. And that's where
maybe under pressure I would have taken them, some as a helper. But what is then a long life? They would have not sustained for long life. If tomorrow, I mean, Kishor Kenche is not there, somebody would already terminated them because they didn't have any skill.
Beautiful. No, this is a beautiful example. It's a very deep example, and it's not easy because it दो साल का मेहनत सर 2 साल तक सबको ITI पढ़ाना और ये आसान काम नहीं है. I know.
अरे sir, I have to take them from home, go to the classroom, make sure they are attending classroom because at 35 years, many times they used to absent.
I know, sir. I conduct the morning sessions and I have got a group of batches from various organizations. How difficult it is to retain people and make them wake up at 5:30. You actually have to go to their home, and it's all about face-to-face physical sessions we're talking about. Awesome, sir. I think after तो सर बात करेंगे तो पूरा Saturday हम लोग कम पड़ जाएगा, but हम देख रहे हैं
पड़ जाएगा
हो चुका है. So we have got just some time. Sir, कुछ बताना चाहेंगे आप? Would you like to share something about 1 or 2 management books which are very close to your heart? Or
okay. So recent book I have, kind of it's not a book, but it's complete transformation. 7 Habits. Okay.
Wow.
Which is Stephen Covey. I mean, personally, I will recommend everyone. Forget about management, non-management, HR, or what. One has, as a human being, you should learn it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm thinking what you're saying. It's a very deep book, and it's a must for every corporate person. Every person, I think. Corporate or non-corporate.
Sure.
Very nice.
Okay. And of course, there is the goal, I mean, which is also important. Okay, which shows that, I mean, which is on a weak link, wherein how we call it bottleneck. There is no bottleneck. Okay. So it's only thought process. So that is that. Bottleneck is here. Yeah. So the goal is talks about that, weak link. So
मजा आ गया. बहुत powerful आपने बोला sir. If I think audience, I think please pay attention to this. You might have heard the name of this book, but just get a copy of it. It's like I don't. It's like Bhagavad Gita, or I'm just taking to get the message, or Bible, or some book for for making it big and
correct.
Nice.
And last I will and last I will take about 6 hats, because of late I have understood, because in the beginning of career or mid of career I used to take a lot of calls. But this all German people, Italian people has taught me. I mean, maybe you are right, Kishore, but you should not be missed 1 for 1%. So please talk about 6 hats. So think, I mean, okay, any point of time from all the angles. Okay, wow. As in hurry, I mean, sometime we take a cut short. However, I mean, there is we may miss out. There are chances how to miss out. Looking out from that, from different angle, from 360-day angle. Please try to be a critic. Okay, not to be good every time. So this book talked about, to look at one thing from all angles.
Beautiful. Sir, I recall while being in Tata Steel, this book was a must-have book for many people. Robert De Bono had come.
Professor Bono.
So it was one of the must books. And of course, for that matter, even I can see a lot of connection between what I'm discussing with you and Tata Steel. About the goal. The goal was, I think I recall, in early 2000, the then managing director, Mr. B. Muthuraman, had ensured that they had purchased thousands of copies of a set of 3 goal books, goal 1, goal 2, there are 3 books, and everybody had been given. I don't know how many people read it, but everybody had been given. So that's reading and learning is a different thing, which we spoke about briefly. And
that practice has come out from Jamshedpur to Pune also.
Yeah. And of course, we spoke about, and you spoke about this seven habits. This was there in all the libraries of and Jamshedpur in all the world. Amazing. Sir, would you like to talk about one or two movies which are very inspiring, because movies are very powerful. Of course, this is again going to be converted into a video, which is going to be seen by many people because of, yes. So would you like to talk about a movie which inspired you?
So movies, okay, maybe, okay, see, I'll talk about recent movies, because those period, I mean, there were definitely a couple of movies, okay, maybe, okay, beginning of the career, but that would be more from entertainment point of view. But recent movie which I talk about is Three Idiots, which I definitely would recommend. I mean, okay, the kind of learning, the innovation, definitely, I mean, the ideas coming out of it. Okay, they are I mean, they are
very powerful.
Definitely useful for everybody. Very, very
powerful. That's what Rancho says, na?
Correct.
Build skills.
And don't limit yourself. If you want to do something, do it. Especially delivery, at that midnight, there's a lot of rain, no water, this one, no doctor, but they made it successful.
Taking ownership, believing that.
Correct.
Actually, once I got into this field of coaching, authoring and speaking, I could actually get the meaning of it, because it's all about you knowing yourself and doing what you think is right. Don't go to what the world is saying, and then actually something comes up. Very interesting. So, sir, you also have visited very many countries. Would you like to talk about a place or country which something about it? Yeah.
Yes, of course. I mean, okay, thanks to this MNCs, I have started my international travel right, way in 2009. Okay. My first was to Germany with and then I traveled many countries, whole of Europe. I have traveled to Germany, Czech Republic, Switzerland, Poland. Okay, then here in China also I have traveled, and now I am traveling to Canada. So Italy, whole of Italy, I mean, I have traveled. So okay, here what I have learned, various learnings are there. Okay. So I have seen this also. Europe is also from 2009 to 2013 onward. So now to we have a business meeting. So every half year, I mean, now I am traveling again on September. So okay, so there also things are changing. But what I have understood, okay, in between international culture is that they are definitely hard worker and very focused on their job. Be it technician, be it this one. They are very, very focused. They limit themselves, okay, and they very politely say, Kishore, I don't know about what is this. I know only this. I don't know anything, and they are proudly saying, I don't know English, means they have a big proud, okay. So sorry, Kishore, I don't know. I mean, what is to be called for this in English. Okay, but they don't, kind of hesitate saying this. But when it comes to the specialty, I mean, they are specialized into it. Okay. Yes, we are far better than kind of language conducting. Multitasking is all okay. But when you talk about very focused things, I think we have to take such kind of thing from Europe for sure. And okay. Yes, I mean, time management and all, so many things are there. But yes, I have been learning, a little focus part from international.
Very powerful. Audience, what Kishore sir said is very powerful, because in my morning sessions, I always talk about focus. Actually, we practice, because it's not only about, because I've seen people not being able to build focus while reading something, because most of the people surrounding do not have focus. That you also know. I know. And that's the reason I make them practice some of these habits in the morning, because morning is the best time to build focus, concentration, calmness, and emotional intelligence, which is the way people know it, which is very important. And audience is very important. What sir said, that I've seen many people in our surrounding, they want to be into a lot of things. They feel bad while saying no, that I do not know. Look at these people from Germany. They know what they know. And that's the reason the depth of penetration into one vertical, into one subject is very deep. And that's the reason most of the inventions, first time breakthrough inventions are happening from some of these countries. Of course, we also keep on saying that we have invented zero, and we keep on saying, but let's say, admit, in today's best inventive, most innovative companies, how many companies are coming from India? Let's put our hand here and let's see FANG companies and some of these breakthrough companies, because they go very deep. And if my field, and I think, sir, because I have been driving a Honda car, I know, my goodness, more than 12 years, 10 years, and not a single sound. I mean, I can't believe, because before that I used to drive a car from some other maker. Of course, the same maker has got a lot of cars coming out even today in the market. But when it comes to finesse, aaj tak zarurat nahi pada, sir. वो कैसे बनाया है, वो कहाँ डीप गए हो, किस हद तक इंजन को ऐसा बनाना है कि आवाज तो नहीं करे, कुछ प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं पूरे कार में. So I think that comes from focus, and you should be absolutely focused on what is supposed to be done. And that's the challenge in today's world, where it's all about a lot of distractions. So I think it's a very important quality which sir has spoken about. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, so this is great. Sir, you must have hired many people. Which are those few qualities which, of course, we have got a hang of while talking, but would you like to share a few qualities which you look for while hiring?
So, of course, I mean, see, I have hired so many people, and most importantly, right from career beginning, I have been hiring technical director, company CEO, company CFO, and not now, but before also.
Yeah.
So what I feel is that, it's a more how you hire and how you retain people is only, how you deep dive into their life. Okay, I'm talking about, leadership hire, I'm talking. So in Piaggio, I have hired, all technical people, like senior level technical, not hired, but, I mean, at the last stage, I mean, I have been, kind of gelled together, because hiring used to happen. Okay, the selection used to happen, but once selection done, then, rolling out offer, and then how you are gelling with them, how you are getting into their, personal life, how, so there is how much you know and how much others know.
Very interesting.
So it is all depend upon that. Believe me, I mean, that makes a lot of things, and how you making, comfortable. Recently, I have hired one technical sales director in my company.
Right.
Okay, all the way coming from North Delhi, okay, from Hotel Mugan.
Yeah.
I mean, he said finally, Kishore, if you would have not there, I would have not joined this. It's a very straight up. So, I am, okay, because the way I have been with him all the time, I mean, explaining him the culture, okay, because technical knowledge, and by this time, everybody knows it. Okay, money is also, okay, maybe secondary, but how much you make him comfortable, okay, if this is a right company, I mean, why should join? So that is a important thing. I mean, okay, you don't leave it, but still you make him feel that this guy is doing everything for me, something like that.
Absolutely, so that needs a lot of focus, lot of patience, a lot of empathy, love for making people better. It comes from within,
and that really pays back to you. I mean, that is what I mean. You build a relation not only with the company but with that person for lifelong, and then obviously with the organization, I mean, he will be a more I mean, kind of deep rooted.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think this is an amazing journey, sir. We started with Latur, and then now, of course, we have been traveling across the world. So it's an amazing, inspiring journey. Sir, one question which is a signature question, which I keep on asking every guest. Suppose we write a book, and I know while listening to you, while talking to you, I've got many books, not only one, many books within you. Suppose we write a book on the life and journey of Mr. Kishor Kenche. What would be the title of that book?
Okay, the title would be, something, okay, it's, I wanted to have, like Kishor Kenche as a, normally it is, okay, this is something, transformation. So I'd like to use word as a, storm. Like Kishor Kenche, one storm, something like that. I don't know.
Beautiful.
How much,
transformation is the word which is very close to my heart. So I see
correct.
Very nice.
Sure.
Sir, we will not spare you here. Sorry. Can you talk about one or two chapters, headline of chapters which will be there in the book? Couple of chapters which you think would be there in the book.
Okay. So chapters can be, the architect would be like, how my, deep roots are, right? For start, go back to my, childhood. Okay, wherein, how my, career, I mean, my, how childhood, shaped up with my teacher, with my father, with my elder brother, and then whole scenario, okay, learning little that kind of lessons, and then putting, thought process right from beginning in my mind. Second is, as I mentioned you about the discipline, about, respecting the people and still be on your own point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And third, how you can develop.
Wow.
So you can only develop, okay, being in the people's shoes. You cannot sit, across out and then, talk about. So that is not a case. If you want to really understand the person, you will have to be with him and be in his shoes and understand it. So I think that learning will happen. And fourth, there are some practical, okay, day-to-day experiences which I normally, told about IR, similar things on, various, professional skills, which, normally we call it in book, okay, whatever, I mean, so many things. But there I learned while working, okay, with others. So while, talking to the people, be it a senior or maybe junior person, from there also I have learned. So Okay, third chapter will be like this, and last chapter, I mean, what we should do it as an organization, as a profession. I mean, how we should treat as an organization, so that you value to your company and as well as to the people. Okay, how you should be put stand your point, make understand the management as well as the okay, I mean the people, concerned people, aggrieved people. So that is what I mean. All HR is about.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I think it's going to be a very enriching book, sir. We do hope that the book comes out, because I think people who are going to have watched the video by now, I think they have got a very deep sense of some of these very empowering life lessons. Sir, before we close, would you like to share a few lessons for the millennials, for the youngsters, for the new generation which is coming? Because sir, आपने जो सीखा है, जो आपने जिस तरह से जिंदगी को देखा है, जो डीपली, उसके वो लेसन्स काफी जरूरी है आज भी और हमेशा रहेंगे. Would you like to share? I think we have got some
millennial. Yes, I think this is very much. I mean, and I have been, kind of, this is sometimes back up the pain to me. I mean, which I really can't see in most of the millennials. Like we have done it, okay. Be it be our childhood or maybe at hostel point of view, okay. That was a need for us, but now the situation has changed. Okay, people need not to run around for food, run around for money. I know that because their parents have been already made enough money for them. They have already made house. But please, my request for all millennials to don't please, I mean, focus your area, do something out of you, and this will only happen putting your hard work and putting your point of view. You cannot really go whatever your colleagues or your situation says. Please make something against of the situation. जो बोलते हैं ना पानी के भाग के उल्टा कुछ करना सीखो.
That makes
correct. I don't know how to correct.
Then sir, then I mean you will have what you said. I'll just take a pause here. This is absolutely, sir. Yeah. Headline इसका मेरे पहले किताब adversity is the mother of transformation. जब challenges आते हैं वहीं पर opportunities हैं. So what you said absolutely. The entire book is there on this. No, all these books are on this. This is the core thing. How to when जब दिल का हो तो अच्छा, जब दिल का ना हो तो और ज़्यादा अच्छा. कैसे बड़ा करना है? That is something which is at the core of all the work which I do. Very very nice. Great. Anything else, sir, which you would like to share? Anything else? I think it has been amazing talking to you. Anything, something which you think?
Okay. No, from my side, I mean, okay, one more thing I would like to put up here is that, okay, don't. One is that I mean, don't stop. Second is try to learn from every small thing. Try to learn. I know that every small thing tell you something, and and once you learn it and try to implement it and make your own rule, will have very big impression. Okay. Wow. Maybe at that point of time you don't remember or realize it, but way forward, I mean, yes, I did my that point of time. My colleague, because so far I mean 57 colleagues have been passed under me, and somebody calls me and tells me, sir, I have used your word language, gentleman. So that is all makes me very, very happy. So it means he has learned and which is implemented in their careers and making help, making I mean it's useful for his career. So maybe at that
point, very powerful thing which you said. Let me just share something if I can get it, because everything that we do in life has got a meaning. The dots are connected. The dots are connected. I'm just looking for something which I can share. It's very interesting.
Okay.
So so let me share now my screen. What you said is very powerful. So let me give one example of what sir said. So I recall it was wave 2. It was wave 2 in Corona, 2021.
Okay.
Around April, May. And the TV channels were full of how things are happening, and people were getting what is going to come to an end, and all those things were happening. That time I started writing a book. We spoke about the power of doing something, and that has got some impact. So I thought of writing a book, which became a book known as My Twisted Love Story, which is about people falling in love with somebody. It's also about people falling in love with their dreams, their goals, their discipline, for example, and how it changes lives of people. Then I got a handwritten letter from a lady doctor. I'm not sharing her name here. She had gone through breakup. This book talks about breakup from dreams at times, and then we should not get disheartened. Breakup from our goals, breakup from people. It all happened. Breakup in different ways. And then this lady, of course, I'll share this letter. So there are 2 pages of this letter.
Okay.
Lady said that this letter, I have hidden the name. She says that this letter, actually, this book, she read the book, and this book actually sort of helped her in coming out of her grief and building her life once again. She's a doctor now in a very well-known college. So these little things which we do. So I started with one page, writing one page, and then it became 2 pages, then 10 pages, and then 200 plus pages. So all this is one example. Everything, I always tell my mentees that everything good which you do, it goes in some way, and then it comes back, and then someday you see the connection. So no good work ever goes for wasted. No, it always has done something good. It's just that we may not know it today. We may know of some certain things, we may never know of certain things. It does not feel it is adding value to the lives of people. For example, when you took a decision to go to ITI college and talk to a designer, 2-year program for these people, you never knew probably at that time, you might not have guessed that this is going to be a model which is going to be followed by hundreds of companies. I'm pretty sure it might be followed by hundreds of companies by now. We may have known about it. Some people might not have come and told you, some people might have told you, but the impact is ever expanding. That is very close to what people know as butterfly impact effect. I never knew the meaning of it, but every good thing has got something somewhere. Thank you so much, sir. I think we started with your journey, which has started from Latur, from a little village, and of course 100 big acres of Jameen, which is a large, I think, piece of tract.
No, now we don't have. But
and
two uncles and we with 3 brothers.
I know, and then we started with the journey where apart from studying in the school throughout the day, you also used to take care of the people, labor who used to work on the farm, and from there coming to a place where you have been traveling across the world, inspiring people. May you keep inspiring people, sir. It's a pleasure for me to talk to you. An audience, if you want to get
so much.
Kishor, sir, just send a message to me. I'll be happy to share the message with him, and of course, you can also directly connect with him. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arunji. Thank you. Thank you so much.